Hello and welcome to Connected Life. I'm Anthony, and this podcast is about connecting with yourself, others, and the universe so that you can enjoy the benefits of great relationships, great health, and great wealth. Emotions are the key to everything in life. How you think and how you feel affects what you experience. We talk about how emotions lead to outcomes for your relationships, your health, and your wealth. Emotions cause both mental pain and physical pain, and we talk about the connection between the two. To listen to and watch this version of the show on YouTube, go to YouTube and do the symbol at Your Connected Life. If you have questions, please click the description in the show and send me a question via fan mail. I will answer your question in one of the upcoming episodes. Thank you for listening. Please like and share this podcast with anyone you believe may benefit. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are talking about why your thoughts shape love, pain, and progress. And we're also going to get into how a little bit more towards the end of the podcast. But for the beginning, why your thoughts shape love, pain, and progress. So we all know how thoughts work, right? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But for the record, or for the recording, thoughts kind of like come along, right? Like wind, like clouds, and they make you think a certain thing or a certain way. And once you do that, you usually attach a feeling or an emotion. So if you think about something that makes you happy, you start to feel happy. If you think about something that makes you feel sad, then you usually start to feel sad. So that's not something that's rocket science, right? That's pretty easy to understand. Where it gets a little bit difficult or challenging for us is the thoughts sometimes come in like crazy. And here's the thing. When you think one thing that's maybe sad, your brain instantly starts to send you more things that make you think the same way. So then you automatically feel sad and you automatically get more thoughts to make you feel sad. So it kind of keeps you in the loop, right? That's why most people find it challenging to get out of those loops. If you're sad or you're lonely or you're angry, you keep getting more and more and more things to keep you in that state of mind. It's kind of difficult to shift to something that makes you happy or something that makes you joyful, or something that maybe makes you feel like you're not alone. So if you think about, I'm not in a relationship, I'm single, you may feel sad and you may feel lonely. And then more thinking about that will come along automatically. It's not like you're sitting there saying to yourself, okay, I want more thoughts like this. You're kind of in the battle of, I don't want to think this. And sometimes that's a little bit challenging, right? Because you're trying to push back against something that you don't want. And I would offer that an alternative to that is to say, okay, I see it, I know it, I feel sad, but I also know that I don't need to be sad forever. I don't need to be single forever. I won't be single forever. So you can find some peace, you can find some joy, and you can find some happiness in thinking that way. I would not go to the opposite extreme and say, I'm happy. That's not going to work. So don't try to force yourself to feel a different way. Just kind of look at other areas of your life or other things that you might want to think about that kind of help you shift out of the thing that's making you feel crappy. So your brain is automatically set up for survival. It's not set up automatically for joy. So that's why the thoughts keep coming in. It's to protect you. If you feel sad and you feel lonely, your brain is kind of like, okay, this is the way you feel. Let me send you some thoughts to support that. So when you start to switch out of that, that's when you start to feel a little bit better, right? So if you think about love or not being in pain or having the money that you need to pay your bills and to travel, or progressing, getting the job, getting the promotion, getting the raise, those things start to make you feel better. They start to make you feel happy. They start to give you some joy. So one of the things is those thoughts that you have about loneliness or sadness are kind of like unconscious. They kind of sneak in silently. They pop into your mind. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, what is this? Why am I thinking this way? And then when you think that way, you start to feel that way. And it's pretty much instantaneous. You get the thought and you get the feeling right behind it. It's like a second or two. And you're left thinking, what's happening to me right now? So one of the things for me is I typically feel pretty good. I'm a happy guy. I get through my life. I know how to shift out of the negative stuff. I no longer need to try and force myself. It's simply that I realize, okay, if I can think negatively about something, I can also think positively about something. It's a very easy 50-50 shift. And one of the things that was really big for me was not having children, not having the greatest father, and always wanting to be a father. And every single time I was out about in my life, in the world, and I saw like a little guy with his dad, it would just make me feel like, oh wow, that's something that I don't have. That's something that I will never have. And that's kind of a lie, right? So you think the thing and then you feel the thing and you have to say to yourself, how is that true? Or how can I invalidate that? How can I confirm that that's false? I could meet someone, I could have a child, maybe they already have children, maybe they specifically have a son. I don't know. So why would I automatically think, oh, here's this thing that I don't have. Here's this car that I will never be able to afford. Here's this pain or this illness that I will never be able to get rid of. It's going to stay around forever. I'm not going to get out of it. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. So those thoughts that drift in can easily be shifted when you start to look at it as everything in life is kind of like a positive or a negative. So instead of just thinking about the negative, start to shift into thinking about the positive. What could go right? What could go well? What could change in my favor? So those thoughts also have an effect on your nervous system. They start to make you feel a certain way. You could get maybe into a position where you want to fight if you're really angry, or if you feel like someone's attacking you. You might get into flight where you want to run away. You want to just get out of the room or get out of the situation or the space. And once you start to get that over and over again, your body starts to realize this is familiar. So it's almost like, okay, I get the negative thought about being single or lonely, and then I get the negative feeling about being sad or being lonely or single. And now my body starts to send specific hormones and feel a certain way. And now We have our mind, we have our body, we have our spirit changes as well, right? We're not happy and bubbly and excited about life. Now we're sad. Now we feel lonely. And all of that triggers something in our body, in our central nervous system. So when you get to a point where your body starts to enjoy that feeling and it starts to feel familiar, then you're kind of in that loop of, okay, I get a sad thought and then I get a sad feeling and then my body starts to feel this way. And you get into what I would call a trap, because then you're in this loop. These three things happen. I don't really know how to get out of it. And then I'm stuck. And it's not enjoyable. But now your body is used to it. Now your mind is kind of used to it. So your subconscious mind starts to send you those things more often. So the more you can say, nope, I'm not listening to you this time. Nope, we're not going that way today. The more you will start to feel different, because now you're thinking different, and then your body will start to feel different. And speaking from personal experience, I will tell you, your mind fights back. Your body fights back. If you've listened to some of the earlier episodes, you know that I went through lots of chronic pain. It's not 100% gone, but the negative thoughts creep in, the negative emotions creep in, and then the negative feelings creep in, and that turns into physical feelings. So it might be a pain in the back, a pain in the neck, a pain in the shoulder, painful knees, painful hips, painful feet, and all of that is connected. And you know what? It all started with a thought. One thought turned into maybe 5 or 10, and those thoughts turned into feelings or emotions. And over time, weeks, months, years, those feelings can turn into physical ailments, illness, pain. So that's why we have chronic pain. We think and feel the same way for years. Pain comes in, and then we get trapped. And now we have an additional layer, right? We have physical pain on top of the thinking and the feeling. Now we have physical issues as well. So if this is something that you're going through, hopefully that helps you understand better not only how it happens, but also why it happens, and now how you can get out of it. So when your thoughts are running your relationships and your energy and your progress, simply reframe. That's the way to get out of it. That's the how, right? You start to think a little bit different, and then you start to feel a little bit different. For me, I'm thinking differently. I feel better. My body feels better physically. So if I have a pain, it's not as severe, or if I have a pain, it doesn't last as long. And for me, I could say, okay, looking at a little boy with his dad was something that I would consider a trigger. And then I look back at that and say, okay, why does it cause me to think and feel the way that it does? And then I just say, well, that's not true. I have no evidence that it is true. There's nothing that makes me believe, okay, that's a fact. I will never have a child. I will never have a son. Right? So you recognize the falsity, I would say, of the things that you are thinking. You can start to write stuff down. Personally, I don't really do journaling, but journaling is something that a lot of people use, and they find success in it because over time, it's really allowing you to get things out of your body. So even though you're just writing it down on paper, it is, in a sense, getting it out, right? It's getting it out on paper. Another good way, of course, is to talk to someone. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. And that is also a way of getting it out of your body. It doesn't have to be therapy. It doesn't have to be counseling. It can be. It can be a coach or a therapist or a counselor, but it can also be a really good friend. It could be a brother, a sister, your mom, your dad, your parents, your grandparents, a coworker, someone that you're close to, and someone that you feel safe with, and someone that you're okay being vulnerable with because you know that they're going to be honest, open, and supportive of you. And you can also make the choice. Have them simply listen so that you get it out. And that's a much better way, in my opinion, than writing it down. But you can also say to them, I don't really need advice. I don't really need suggestions. I just need to get this out of my body. And that's a real thing. Humans need to release. We need to get things out of our body. So if you've ever watched a show with animals that get attacked and they go through some type of stress or trauma, what do? They might drop down and shake on the ground. Maybe they're being attacked and they're shaking on the ground. Or maybe they just got out of an attack and they shake, right? That releases all the tension, all the stress, all the anxiety in the body. Humans, we don't do that. What do? We walk away and we think. We think, oh my God, that was terrible. Oh, I could have died. Oh, maybe I will die. Oh, maybe I have this disease. Maybe this disease is going to spread. Oh, maybe my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my spouse saw this thing. Maybe they're going to be upset. Oh, they're going to break up with me. Oh, I'm going to get a divorce. Oh, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills because I didn't get that raise. Humans and their brains and their thoughts just run crazy. So at Connected Life, when you're connected to yourself and your thoughts and your mind and your body and your spirit, it helps you navigate the crazy thoughts that automatically pop into your mind. Start to talk to yourself in different ways. So if you feel something coming up that you know is not true, I'm never going to find a partner. I'm never going to get married. Those words right there should tell you that it's false. Never. You know the term, right? Never say never. Well, never think never. There's no way to validate the fact that this is true. I'm never going to have enough money. I'm never going to own a home. That's crazy. That's simply a thought. It's like a breeze when you're sitting outside. The breeze comes along, you feel it, and it goes away. Or if you're out and it's a really sunny day and a big cloud comes along and then the sun disappears and then the cloud moves and then the sun reappears. It's just a thought. It moves right along, but the problem is we grab it. We catch it in our heads. We catch it with our hands and we stick with them. And then they eat away. And eventually they can really lead to disease, cancer, chronic pain, fatigue, fibromyalgia. All of those things are caused initially by thoughts. Those thoughts turn to feelings. Those feelings and emotions cause changes in our body physically. They change our central nervous system. That's why it's so hard to get rid of them. It's so hard to change. But now you know. And that has a big influence and that has a big effect on how you progress and how you move through life, how you get into relationships that you really enjoy, how you get jobs and careers and start businesses and travel and have enough money and have the body that you want that is healthy and happy and disease-free. So it all starts with, how am I thinking today? What am I feeling today? And that would be when you first wake up. Do you wake up, open your eyes and say, oh shit, here's another day of this crummy job? Or do you jump out of bed and think, you know what? It's going to be a good day at work. I'm going to find a new job, or I'm going to start looking for a new job, or I'm going to ask someone about a job. At this point, you can pretty much just go into, I would say, go into something online, AI, and say, here's all my experience. Here's all my credentials. Give me all the jobs that I can do. Give me all the jobs that I'm eligible for. Do the same thing with getting rid of debt. Do the same thing with potential illness or chronic pain. And of course, that is not in place of medical treatment or doctors or therapists or counselors, but it will give you insight into a lot of the things that you're thinking and feeling that are false. So start to understand how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and then change what you're thinking and feeling and see how your life changes. Your body will feel better. You will feel better. Your spirit will feel better, and it will start to come alive. And as I said earlier, your body and your mind are going to fight back. So if it feels like this is really challenging, it is. And if you get in the loop of backing down when it gets challenging, that's where you're going to get stuck. You got to keep on going. You got to keep working on it. You got to keep thinking the same way, changing how you're thinking and feeling. And then eventually you get to the point where it's less and less. You feel better and better. You have less negative thoughts. It's easy for you to shift now from the negative to the positive. Oh, I know that's just a thought. I can just simply think something different. All right, so if you would like the video edition of this, check out YouTube, and it's at Your Connected Life. Also, if you have a question, comment below the podcast in the description and send me a text via fan mail. I will be sure to answer your questions in the upcoming episodes. Thank you for listening, and start thinking better. Well, that's our show for today. I truly hope you enjoyed and gained some personal knowledge. Please download, like, and share if you believe someone may benefit from today's show. Again, please send me a text message with any questions about connection, emotions, chronic pain, and how the three are related by clicking fan mail in the show description. Video footage is available on YouTube at My Connected Life. Thank you for listening, and let's connect again in a few days.